It's the NFL on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Lions and the 49ers, and it comes your way next.
We're about 40 miles south of Candlestick Point as we welcome you inside Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Tonight, we've got a good NFC matchup in store, as it'll be the Detroit Lions taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn. Happy to be with you. And CD, as we get this thing going, give the folks at home something to keep their eye on.
The running game for both teams, because I think this is going to be an old-fashioned, old-school type of a game. Physical, who wins up front, who runs the ball the best and controls the clock, they will come out the victor.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. Oh, a good return up past the 30. Still going. And it'll be an excellent return as he's all the way down inside the 25-yard line.
As the excitement continues to swirl after that return, if I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm thinking about keeping that excitement going. Already in scoring position, I've got to take some shots at the end zone right now.
So here are the 49ers and their offense in great field position already. And they will be led out by their second-year quarterback.
And there's a word that constantly gets thrown around with this guy when you talk to anyone in the building. Potential. They are sky high on what they believe he can grow into in the role of a starting quarterback. In addition, there are plenty around the league who think that as well. And years from now, he can still be leading this offense out.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down. And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. 3rd and 15 coming up after that loss of 2.
Well, they went back to him, but the results were similar, so I highly doubt that he'll get another opportunity here on 3rd and long.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Purdy will set up to throw it here. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
And his kick here is good. And the 49ers take a 3-0 lead. So the big return had him fired up, but in the end, the offense stalls out. They only muster 3.
Yeah, the excitement was there after the return, but they didn't move the ball at all after that. They didn't even get a 1st down.
So after the made field goal by Moody, he's back out to kick this one away. And it'll come out to the 25 as Raymond will elect not to bring it out. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the guy out of California, the former Cal Bear, Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl, and came really within one quarter of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Finds Gibbs on the check down. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
And that's a good job there by the corner. And we do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Now it's Goff. And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A gain there of 21 yards.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Now a 1st down throw. Goff. And that's hauled in by St. Brown over the middle. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd and 2. They'll run for the first time with a speedster, Jahmyr Gibbs. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 2 yards, good enough for a 1st.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
On 1st down, Goff under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Credit the sack to Fred Warner.
Now, how about that? Defensive coordinator perfectly in sync, dials up a blitz, and the man in the middle, he's the one who gets home.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Gibbs straight ahead. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. I was pretty surprised there when they lined up to run it on 2nd and long, but it worked out for them.
It certainly did, and that requires some confidence, some fortitude, and a little bit of hope, doesn't it? You hope you catch the defense just right and break off a big run to help yourself out on the next down.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Excellent defensive effort to get to him and provide a little contact before the catch could be made cleanly.
So the kick from here on a field goal would have been right at 53 yards, but instead, offense out there. They're going for it. They go ahead and snap it. Goff. He's got his target. That's complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big pickup there, 20 yards as they convert on 4th. Charles, their first drive of the game, and already they're taking chances here, but they get the 4th down conversion. I'm curious, do you think that that's something they game plan for on the opening drive if it came up, or is that something that happened organically?
I think that they game plan for it, Brandon, and when you think about it, let's just say it. The word analytics is a big part of how everyone looks at a game nowadays, but it's not just the analytics. It's a coach willing to be daring, willing to be bold, and they certainly were there.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Goff throwing again. And he's got him. Got his man on the end route. Complete. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. They'll run with Gibbs. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. Things made a little more difficult after the false start as they try again on 2nd and goal. Again, it's Gibbs. And only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Now Goff on 3rd and goal. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. 4th down now as San Fran's defense was strong in coverage. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
So a return of serve, so to speak, here on the 2nd drive of our game as they respond to that opening field goal with 3 of their own.
I like that. Going a little tennis on me,
I know you like to mix it up with sports.
They crack a forehand back at him. They get a backhand. What was the return on?
It was a backhand.
I like that.
Really good backhand.
With some nice top spin on the whole thing. I love it. Almost a mirror image when you really get down to it. I thought that was pretty good stuff.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their 2nd drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Purdy's throw pulled in by Kittle. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
Here's Purdy. This throw nearly intercepted. Oh, the big D lineman almost had it, but 3rd down coming up.
Those are the ones you dream of as defenders. I think if he gets eyes on the ball a little bit earlier, he might come away with it. Instead, it's going to wind up as just an incomplete pass.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Purdy now on second down. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Lee McNeil, what an effort to get in there and drop him. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the first down. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. This is taken at about the 14. Three, a tight one after one on EA Sports. The Lions with the football here to begin the second quarter, as they've got a 1st and 10 at their own 25. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here's Goff. That pass caught. It's Williams. And they work this well upfield across the 45. So the penalty declined, and they will keep the yardage on the completion.
And you could almost see him compartmentalize there throughout the route. Fought hard at the line of scrimmage, a lot of hand checking throughout the route. Great job staying focused on the football and pulling it in through the contact.
On first down, it's Goff. That's caught inside the 20. A big play there for Detroit. 42 yards.
Well, he looked his way quite a bit in this first half, and with good reason. You can see it there. He is such a handful defensively, just too hard to keep him under wraps, and delivers a big play here for this offense.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a give running right is Montgomery. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
That's to the tight end, Laporta. And in for the Lions touchdown. Sam Laporta, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Lions have taken the lead. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bullying his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead is now 10-3. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Purdy. His throw incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on first down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
George Kittle, the receiver that he was looking for, but it'll be second down. Out of the gun, Purdy. Got a man, that's Ayuk. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Purdy with it on 3rd and long. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Again, it's Purdy to throw it. This will be caught. It's Samuel. And he's going to get this down near the 25. He's been a one-man wrecking crew these last couple of plays. This time 18 more and a first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Touchdown! Brandon Ayuk. 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Niners are an extra point away now from tying this ball game.
Everybody likes to see the long ball thrown, but when you throw it underneath and you see someone catch the ball, secure it, make their moves, and then turn it into bigger plays, that's a lot of fun to watch as well.
Jake Moody now for the point after. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it was Brandon Ayuk capping it off with a touchdown reception. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. No run back here for Raymond. This will be a touchback. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
He'll let this go deep for St. Brown. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball. but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. A shotgun snap for Goff. He's got it complete to Gibbs. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Throwing on 3rd, Goff. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A big 30-yard play on 3rd.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. To the air again, Goff. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. On 2nd and 10, Goff. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete. David Montgomery, the target out of the backfield, and it'll bring up 3rd down. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains. Now a play fake, and it's Goff. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Whether that's a little grabbing, a little hand fighting, by any means necessary on 3rd down, he was able to get the job done in the secondary and swat that one away.
On 4th down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. That'll be out of bounds, and how good was that? They'll say the 3-yard line. That's where they spot it. Now the 49ers settling in for their next drive. And they'll be looking to build off of a nice drive last time, a drive that really relied on the quarterback.
Making good decisions, distributing the ball well, distributing it accurately, keeping it away from danger. A really nicely run drive.
But now the defense, what adjustments do they need to make in the passing game?
Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Whether it's the guys up front or maybe you bring additional guys, but you've got to disrupt the timing of them throwing the football.
We'll see if they can disrupt it here. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
I think they're ahead of schedule now after that run. They might be bold with this 2nd down call after that type of a gain.
This 2nd and 4. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Well, partner, if the defense isn't going to adjust and they keep giving them those 5, 6, 7-yard runs over and over, they're likely to run it the whole way to the end zone. They'll be more than happy to take the yardage available and save some of their other plays in the playbook for another time.
Purdy completes this one here to McCaffrey. And they'll get him down here at the 23. So 8 yards on the completion there, and it'll be 2nd and a couple.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Purdy now to throw off the play action. He's got room past the 30. And he takes it all the way up to the 47. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
2nd and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a 1st down.
A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. McCaffrey running up the middle, and they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
2nd and 9. Purdy looking to throw. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Shotgun now with Purdy. That is caught, and it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 28. That's a 3rd down conversion of 24 yards there. Nice play.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup, and on this play, he finds him for the first down.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line. Back to the ground attack here. It's McCaffrey. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
All tied up at 10. 2 minutes left in the first half. 2nd down and 4. Purdy from the gun. And his pass incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Throwing here, Purdy. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he is going to have a 49ers first down. He needed 5. He got it barely, as it will officially go down as a gain of 5 yards. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, and he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Boy, this is a well-orchestrated drive they've put together. You think back to how far they were backed up to start things out, but they've gone on a march since then, and now after that completion there, they've got a 1st and goal.
Once more, Purdy looking to throw. And oh, it'll be intercepted. It's Brian Branch with it, and the Lions are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. CD, when he went to throw that, I'm not sure if he just didn't see where the defense was. Whatever the case, not the throw you're looking for on 1st and goal.
Not at all, because, look, let's face it, that close to the goal line, if you throw an interception, is going to hurt on any down. But really, the only down you can kind of live with is if you do it on 4th down. The first 3, if you don't have it wide open, just get rid of it. Make sure they can't get it and live to fight another down. 1st and goal, and you throw the pick, not good at all.
After the interception, here's Goff. And the Niners get there and bring him down. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6. He found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
Here's Goff now on second down. Oh, he had a man open. He overshot him. It's incomplete.
Oh, that's one as a quarterback where you put both hands on your helmet and say, I can't believe I just did that. If he puts a little more touch on that ball, the receiver's still running. Instead, it's just an incomplete pass.
This time they stay on the ground. And they'll indeed stop him on third down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Jack Fox out to punt here on fourth down. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Final play of the half, Purdy. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this one is incomplete. So we have reached halftime here at a good one. 10-10 is our score. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, back to you two in just a bit. But first, welcome everyone to downtown Orlando and our EA Sports halftime report. We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. They're all even to this point. This has the feeling of a game that could go right down to the wire. One mistake or one big play could turn out to be the difference.
And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And he will not bring it out. It's a touchback. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles. So as we start the third quarter, curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that one, and we all know a lot of coaches from the NFL all the way down to the Pee Wee level. They love to spin it to their teams. Hey, we're starting a brand new, shorter ball game. It's all even. Let's go out and seize it. This is ours.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Goff now looking to throw. He's airing it out for Williams. This is caught inside the 15. A big play there for Detroit. 62 yards.
When you get into the second half of a tie ball game, you start realizing that every play takes on a bigger significance. And this is pretty significant right here. This is where you start putting the pressure on that secondary, and that's a job well done there.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. From the gun, here's Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. We hear them discuss red zone efficiency a lot, CD, and they almost gave that one up in the red zone. Luckily, they'll have another shot.
And you and I both know that every offensive coordinator, play caller in the league, they take particular delight in their red zone calls because those are the payoff ones. But you can't call a play if your team doesn't have the ball. Got to secure it.
Meanwhile, Goff's throw into the hands of Peoples-Jones. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. A field the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on third down. Goff now to throw. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete. Fourth down now as San Fran's defense is strong in coverage.
Smart move to throw that one away. You're in field goal range, so you definitely don't want to be loose with the ball. And that's great work by this defense to force a fourth down.
Now the Lions, they send out the field goal unit here. From the left hash, a 31-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And they will take the lead at 13-10. Now they don't get a touchdown here on the opening drive of the third quarter, but I think maybe you still say mission accomplished as they come away with the lead.
No, absolutely. You keep the pressure on, right? You go downfield, get some points up on the board, and hope that you've motivated your defense to take the field and hold that lead.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. And they find themselves down on the scoreboard following the field goal a moment ago.
And I think even though they trail in the game now, I would consider that a win for their defense, and that's probably what they're telling the offense when they get to the bench. Hey, the onus is on you guys now. Get back out there and get us the lead back.
Play action. Now Purdy. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
And it's pretty evident that this passing game has been frustrated so far. They haven't really moved the ball the way we might have expected, but this is a good pickup here for the first down.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. It'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's second down.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it, and while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 5. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Samuel bringing in the slant. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 36. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Debo going in motion left. He'll get it here on the jet sweep. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I'd keep going back to him.
On second down, McCaffrey. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. Purdy off the play fake. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
So Purdy off and Moody on for the 49er field goal. From the right hash, this a 31-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that's going to tie us at 13. So matching field goals here to begin this 3rd quarter of play, and we are tied again.
And this is how it's been all game long, very much like a boxing match. Each team counter-punching each other, neither gaining a clear advantage.
So all square here in this 3rd quarter as the kick's away. And it'll come out to the 25 as Raymond will elect not to bring it out. And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
A nice run on first down gets him 6 yards to the 31.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Now Goff. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle 3rd. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
So much of this game is focus and concentration. And whenever I see guys running the in route, I know that in the back of their mind, they're always wondering who's lurking inside that might put a big hit on them as they try and catch the ball.
Out of the gun, Goff. And that will be incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. Taken in at the 22. So not just running into the punter, but roughing the punter.
And I'm struggling with this one. You know, you're watching it, partner. Is it more the first rather than the latter? This is a tough one. Almost feels like he felt like he had to call it on that play.
So 1st and 10 after a big mistake on 4th down with a penalty. Counter play. Here's Gibbs. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage.
Nice linebacker play.
Now a 2nd and 10. Gone. This pass down the field for Gibbs. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs, 54 yards. And the Lions have broken our tie as they take the lead.
They went 5 wide in that offensive set. In racing, going 3 wide's a big deal. To go 5, how about the way that they finish things off?
Did you just fit a race car reference into the game?
Zoom, zoom. How about the way that you play? When you go 5 wide, that means you're going fast now.
Zoom, zoom indeed. Extra point splits the uprights, and they will take a 7-point lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. San Francisco's offense returns to the field. They trail 20-13 our score as they have it 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be 2nd down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Purdy bootlegging it. Connects with Kittle underneath. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The Niners have the 1st down on a gain of 11.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Purdy. That's complete out left to Ayuk. Now 2nd and 3. Up the gut, McCaffrey. And some room to maneuver. And he's going to have a Niners 1st down as the tackle made it about the 43-yard line. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
Back to the ground on 1st, it's McCaffrey. And now nothing but green ahead of him. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 80 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
2nd down and 8. A handoff, McCaffrey running right. And he's heating up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. From the shotgun to McCaffrey. Down right around the 25. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. 3 quarters have come and gone. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football, but some ground to cover. They find themselves behind as we hit the 4th and final quarter. So here we go. It's Jake Moody now in a big spot. This from 42 yards out. And his kick is indeed good, but now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about. But Charles, they're trying to protect this lead late. Those are the types of mistakes they could afford to go without.
About the last thing you want to give them is help in completing a comeback, which is exactly what that penalty does.
So a special teams mistake on the field goal try leads to a new set of downs inside the red zone. McCaffrey following the penalty. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The job of any linebacker involves having enough strength to fight off a blocker and get to ball carriers. But in this case, I think we can safely say he beat him right off the snap to get into the backfield and make that play.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Back to throw, Purdy. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Flying in for that sack, Aiden Hutchinson.
All about the offense so far this drive, putting something sustained together. But the defense, they responded on that play. 2nd and manageable became 3rd and long. The drive marching to the end zone is one play from stalling out.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. This will be 3rd and a mile. Play action, and now here's Purdy to throw it. And that is incomplete. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash, this from an even 40 yards out. And his kick is good. And that'll bring him back within 4. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
So here's Moody back out there now to send this one away. No run back here for Raymond. This will be a touchback. Detroit's offense ready to take over. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's got right on the short throw. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, 4th quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
The throw right sideline here is complete. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. Here's 2nd and 3. Now a give to Gibbs, running left. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. Gibbs will try and pick it up. And he's got a 1st down as he's up to the 48. Hasn't had his best game running the football here tonight, but hey, that's a critical spot right there to convert on 3rd down, and he did it.
And the lights are shining just a little bit brighter right now, aren't they? You remember the beginning of the game? If he gets this 1st down, everybody's happy. That's cool. But here, that was critical, and it really energizes them.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 52 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
On 2nd down, here's Goff. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. Now back to the ground. Here's Gibbs. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Lions will add to their 4th quarter lead.
We see this a lot on 3rd and short yardage, especially down here in the red zone. They're going to sell out to stop the run, try and hold them to a field goal. But once the running back gets past the first wave, the resistance can evaporate after that. And he not only picks up the 1st, but he takes it all the way into the end zone.
Point after, right down the middle. And that pushes the lead up to 11. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. The Niners set to take over on offense. Well, that last touchdown we just saw, what an important one. Now it's back to a 2-score deficit for this crew as they take the field here, and they are in desperate need of finding the end zone. Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll bring a tight end in motion left. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. Now the ball comes loose. But it looks like one of the DBs has it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. He has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
Jameer Gibbs and the Lions offense getting set once again. And you'd have to figure, he got the ball quite a bit last drive. You see the numbers, that now they're looking to chew some clock. He's going to get it even more here.
I would think so, because they have momentum going in their direction. They moved the ball that way on their last drive, and you know they're trying to lock this game down. But also, don't be surprised if they mix in a few passes along the way as well, so they can't just totally key on him on this drive.
Interesting. We'll see if that happens. Either way, looking to hold this lead. Let's see if they can do it. Williams loses the football, and down inside the 15, shy of the 10. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
This is where you step up, get something together.
Straight ahead with Gibbs here, and he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. They got 5 through the air last play, now 5 on the ground, 1st and 10.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. A shotgun snap for Goff. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Down this close to the goal line, 1st down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on 1st down in this situation, because 2nd down, that gives me an option of running play action and maybe throwing it.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. Gibbs will take this one in. It's a Lions touchdown.
Sometimes offenses can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
Extra point attempt here still to come. And the lead is up to 18 now. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was all capped off by a touchdown run from Jameer Gibbs. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles. But they've got to take care of the football and do better here on this possession.
It's certainly been a tough stretch, partner, for both of those units, and they kind of put their defensive mates in a really tough spot there by dropping the ball on the ground. But an easy way to make it up to them, get out there now and get some points on this drive.
Here's Purdy on 1st and 10. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Purdy. And he will find his man, Samuel. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. It'll go as a gain of 25 on a play that started back at the 25. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Again, it's Purdy to throw it. Now, a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Purdy with it on 3rd and long. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 36. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice 1st down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where, as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution. Even though the scoreboard is going against you, you want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
And a 3rd and 5. This will be the 8th play of the drive. Once more, Purdy looking to throw. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. The Niners passing game in sync now. They've got another 1st down.
And when you're throwing the ball downfield really well like they have been on this drive, it's really a nice time to work one of the screen plays in. One of my favorite play callers in the game has always told me he starts every game with 10 to 12 screens because if he starts feeling the pressure from the defense, he uses their aggressiveness against them.
And he's only get a yard from the 20 to the 19. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
His throw caught at about the 5. And the 49ers are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Shotgun now with Purdy. That'll be caught by Ayuk. Touchdown 49ers. Brandon Ayuk His second touchdown of the night. And the 49ers have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth. And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Now Moody for the PAT. And that one makes this an 11-point deficit now. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it was Brandon Ayuk capping it off with a touchdown reception. Two scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And the Lions are able to cover this one up. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And Detroit getting set to go now. Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the fourth quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much. We've got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on first down. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. From the gun, Gibbs will get it. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Let's rock around. What's the deal, guys? Play a little aggressive, baby. Let's do this, man.
3rd and 5. Goff now looking to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And we'll see if the defense wants to stop it as they take the knee.
This is where you step up. Right here, baby. You know what it is.
On 2nd down, Montgomery. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right? Just us against the world and get it done. How happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then, this game's over. Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from Silicon Valley.